So yathi sihamba ke lendlela sayahamba lendlela maqabane sazofika apha sikhoyo wanyulwa uMatamela wanyulwa waba ngupresident waba ngudeputy waba ngupresident samonyula sizimembers ze-ANC simazi ukuthi unemali but ipolicies ze-ANC azishapwa nguCyril as our president. If ever ANC you think it is selling out, it means the ANC has got weak leadership. AngoCyril ngaba bantu bakhokela noCyril abangamatyhwatyhwa abangananyani abanganamva nomphambili bakufuneka bathethe izinto entlanganisweni babulawa idyudyu because umuntu ugada isihlalo sakhe akhona entlanganiso enye uRamaphosa ke wanqandela umuntu athethe eyona ndoda ke ilungileyo apha kwe-ANC ekhokhelayo engakhohlakalanga ngulo Ramaphosa. uRamaphosa kasisuthu bariki konyana ndiye ingathi nam ndingamshukumisa noba kungempama ngamanye amala ndiqonde ukuthi lo bhuti umdala kum ubhuti ngutata lo mntu kum 70 years jonga ndiphi mna ndisaleqa apha ko-50 ulunge gqithi adanqanda hayi mbax kawume abantu be-ANC abenzwe lihlobo ndithi ngawume mongameli abagezi abantu bahamba ngena ngenje caweni awuthi sike sibavuthulula indlebe ezinje athi abantu bombutho abaphathwa ngolu hlobo. You know, and uRamaphosa has never vetoed any decisions. Never. Yes, we do have challenges, comrades. Our revolution at some point, and this revolution does have challenges like any other revolution. And that cannot be pinned on Ramaphosa. Comrades have got challenges. The organization respond. You know, today when we respond to this notion that we are corrupt, sometimes even corruption that is being preached out there, it's us ANC members who have preached corruption more than any other thing. See it. And now society look up to us to say, how are they going to respond? We go to a conference, this conference that adopted radical policies, it also adopted radical policies in relation to how we must deal with corruption, in as far as how it affects members of the ANC. We became very radical. And society today does not see that radicalism. Tina sihambe sagqitha ne-constitution. Constitution talks about presumption of innocence. Noba ubanjiwa kutsho unetyala. Kwa ANC sathi sulinda lo nonsense. Step aside. Ndimvile uFaku umeya wase-Velcom ichairperson yeSalga indiphikisa ngala meya wase-Kopanong ethetha isilungu se-jurisprudence dathi kwa-ANC yaphela loo nto le. Le nto le uStofile ayithetha ndicela niyomfaka isikolo madoda u-undermina i-renewal. And indaba yokuqala ndingunobhala we-ANC andingunobhala weSankore we-Communist Party or we-COSATU. Awuzundixelela Mike ngomso ukuthi xa ndidila nevithi lo mntu nje apha esitratweni funeka ndiyokhosulta wena ndisebenzisa i-constitution ye-ANC. And I'm accountable to the NEC. Wena ungasikuzicenge shame uzothi nobhala nkhawume. Masibonisane ndoda kuthi. Uyaphi ngalo mcimbi? Ungandi-address eTVini. Ngoba sizawubhidana. Society will never understand us. Sizawucinga sikwi-revolution. Le nto ama-comrade ayenzayo addressane eTVini ibe ngufokofokolo. Nicinga bafana niyibambile. Bemane bekuxelela xa uyosela utywala umbambile umbaluli. Awubambanga nimosha umbutho. Because there's nothing that says why you can't go to Mbalula at Luthuli House and say no bhala ndifuna uku-addressa. Ngale nto ugqiba uyithetha up before sithethe. You know, they are comrades of COSATU. I admire those comrades from now. I spoke about Linkabula and I defended her. Members of NEHAWU at UNISA. But you know, we wanted to respond to you, but we want to explain to you where we come from. Before we respond to you, we are not against the Vice Chancellor. There are things that you are not aware of. We as members of the union in that university, we've got issues about. Askakadibani nangoku, but I've got respect for them because that's how organizations operate. Especially if we are not a problem to each other. Ucomrade Mike ngunobhala, uzaba ngunobhala nangomso, naxa kakhutshwa nini nifaka omnye awusebenza nalo, nam xa ndiphumayo kuzawuzomnye. But we are cordial. Nangomso xa kukho iproblem kwa-ANC, akutsho ukuthi sam kwakufuneka ngithethe. Ithi hey into ye-load shedding iyasixaka ngoku. But we are governed by laws of nature, space and time. Awuveli nje uthethe. We must manage things, especially in the period we are in, because everything that is said by anyone at any given point in time is misinterpreted deliberately. So what it means is that we've got to be decent. There've got to be what is called decorum in us as leaders and as members of the alliance. When we can talk to each other. So comrades, we have come a long way in the organization. And we have fought here. We in the Youth League were the first, I was the president, to defend Jacob Zuma when it was not fashionable. And the reason and the principle why we defended Zuma and he ended up being president, is because we were challenging one thing. We said, don't trial a comrade through the media. Because here in South Africa, a group of editors met and discussed Jacob Zuma trial, including when he's going to be arrested. And then kwaqanjwa ingoma kwathiwa wenzeni uZuma. Engcuka ngawuphendule. Yaqanjwa ngabasebenzi lo ngoma. Ubani yazi lonto. Ibiphuma kulanto yala off the record briefing because jurisprudence doesn't allow Patoyi to brief journalists about case Kambalula. It doesn't. That's what happened. One journalist from that meeting then leaked the off-the-record what? Ndothukile. Sixelelwa ngoZuma ukuthi uzawubanjwa kanjani. Sabuza thina ukuthi why is this comrade being tried through the media? That's the issue we asked at that time. And then we said that is unfair because that then imposes what we call prejudice. Namhlanje ubona ucomrade ukuthi uyabanjwa akade abantu. Zuma became president of the ANC and president of the country. And then he didn't serve his term through. The same as Thabo Mbeki didn't. Thabo Mbeki didn't finish his term. After Polokwane, wahamba ama-comrade aqumba uform ikhophi iphelile la khophi. Hayi angayizama uthera no hayi khona imkile iphelile tu. Now, injalo into ezifonyishwa ngoqumba uyabona. Yaphela tu qwaba bayikhophi. And then uMbeki wahamba bekusithiwa iDalai Lama yala khophi. Because he never denounced it. Even when comrades formed it in his name, he never said, I will not be associated with this. So he was called Dalai Lama. So comrades formed COPE. When President Zuma decisions were taken that he must step down and CR come in, comrades never became happy. Comrades were not happy bafilisha ukuthi ubaba is being dealt with. Why ubaba na ebuza imibuzo? Ndenze ntoni? Why ndisuswa? And yayikhona ke i-answer zokuthi why esuswa. uRamaphosa came 2 times in a night to the NEC and told us that a proposal that he thinks, no, we must not move on this. And then the questions he could not field was that the prosecution is going to arrest the sitting president next week. How do we answer? In that NEC, I'm sure there are 2 people who abstained. We spoke till 2 a.m. in the morning. Everyone spoke. Ungamamela mxoki nje. Wonke umuntu wathetha kula meeting. uRamaphosa wamandatewa in the middle of the night at 12 ukuthi go back. Yangathi ila ngoma ibiculwa enye group bathi Boys to Men, go back to time. Wabuyela pha emahlabandlovu wanika feedback ukuthi no NEC is of the firm view that this must happen tomorrow. It happened. And comrades were not happy. Mbeki wasizalela iCope when he did not finish his term. Comrade Zuma, when he did not finish his term, it became a problem. Yeah. Worst of all, ANC conference adopted that state capture report must be processed. The conference, where we could not get out of the hold, which elected President Ramaphosa, took resolutions that conference. It was the 54th conference. It said that state capture report as processed by Ubani Lomam must be processed. That was a conference resolution, not Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa was not president. President Zuma had to sign that. And then that report said he must not appoint a judge. A judge must be appointed elsewhere. And then they appointed Tubabu Zondo to be the chairman of the judge. And then appointed by Mukhweng. President Zuma was the sitting president. He signed those things. He implemented the ANC conference resolution. And then he did not finish his term. He did ask, allow me to finish my term so that I can introduce the new president to BRICS. I-NEC yathi no sizawugqitha kanjani kule miba asakwazi ugqitha kulona. So there's never been hatred, but we know that there are people who for their own political agendas have never liked Msholozi. Nyandiv? Yes. And therefore, in the process, the organization had to respond to these challenges. These challenges are difficult, comrades. The same as today you lose a comrade you love because of step aside. Ndime apha nje ke ndabanjwa ngomso. Uyawuva kuthiwa hey thina unobhala besicula ngayo madoda. And ningaphinde nicule xa senibanjiwe yiyeke napha. Now, i-renewal is as painful as like that because you've got to do things. But you know that within the renewal process, we must not allow the revolution to devour its own children. Because abanye basebenzisa as position to deal with those they don't like.